Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan here with you. TK over at Court Street, at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. It is literally 8 days away is Thanksgiving, so Tremonti's is rocking and rolling as folks are getting their orders in and purchasing everything from wine and liquor to their meat orders for next week's pickup. Today, we're presented by, of course, LeBair's Casino, each and every show here on Sports Shorts Daily. And we are going to be over at LeBair's this Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll have a little breakfast over there from 9 to 11 as the LSU game will be 11 a.m. against Texas A&M. That is not making anybody happy. LSU, Texas A&M, 11 a.m. So we'll have Sports Shorts Radio on from 9 to 11. From LeBair's Casino inside the brand new ESPN Bet Sportsbook. But this Saturday we'll be over at Walk-On and Bruley. Nobody does it better than the Bruley Walk-Ons. All right, TK, a couple of things. One, how about the big win yesterday for the Pelicans? The Pelicans have been trending in the wrong direction. 4-6. They lost 5 in a row. They weren't looking really good. All of a sudden, against one of the better teams in the West, the Dallas Mavericks, who were 8-2 coming in, and obviously have the great two-headed monster at the top of their team. Pels were dominant from start to finish, won by 20. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, they never were threatened. I mean, they got off to an early lead and kept it up. Ken Trahan of Crescent City Sports, who goes to all the home games, he sent a tweet out at halftime, and I bet the Mavericks, so I was keeping up with the score, saying it's the best half he's seen the Pelicans play all year. And obviously they were on a 5-game losing streak. Mavericks beat them a couple of nights ago over in Dallas. So to win by 21 points to turn it around, the lead was bigger than that at one point. It's a nice win without McCollum for the Pelicans, and maybe they can trend it back in the other direction now. But they played well, according to Ken Trahan, and obviously we trust what he says.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're hoping that this becomes the norm. Look, if you can do it against the Mavs and win that way when they're at full go, there's no reason why you can't get on a little bit of a heater and start to put some things together. But I'll believe it when I see it. The Pels now 5-6 on the season. The most important thing is Zion is healthy. LSU, they find themselves a 31-point favorite over Georgia State. Georgia State 128th, Tommy, in pass defense. Are you surprised at the 31? Do you think it should be more or less?
I almost think it should be more than that. Good morning to Joey Purcell, former Tulane right-hander. Great guy who tunes into us. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, I thought it would be higher than that, Ronnie. When I first saw 31, I went, I was thinking 37, 38, maybe even touch 40 because of the passing defense of Georgia State. We know what Jayden Daniels is doing. First time these two schools have ever played in football. I'm assuming they may have played in other sports, but it's going to be a name that score for the LSU team, kind of like against Army or Grambling. But it is what it is, and LSU's got to really, worry about LSU. Don't worry about Georgia State. Do what you got to do. I think Coach Kelly's going to let those numbers get way up high. Maybe Nussmeier gets in the fourth quarter. We'll see. Because then they got A&M coming to town. 11 o'clock kickoff. You're right. Nobody's happy about that. I had like 3 people when they heard that. They were like, what? 11 o'clock? Come on. Thanksgiving weekend, whatever. Kind of saves your Saturday night, but it messes up a lot of other things, including Sports Shorts Radio, which will go early that day from 9 to 11 from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook out at the LeBair's. But anyway, so LSU's just got to, take care of business, worry about LSU, play name that score with Georgia State, and then prepare for the next game.
Before I talk about the A&M game, I do anticipate that LSU will leave Daniels in there for at least 3 quarters, no matter the score. I do believe, obviously the kid would want to win the Heisman. The fact that LSU's not playing in a championship game in Atlanta that week, but yet really his competition for the most part is. All of them are. And so because of that, they understand, I'm sure, that think of the amount of money, the amount of recognition, the amount of notoriety, what it's done for recruiting, et cetera, since Joe Burrow won the Heisman. Well, you have a chance 4 years later, to do the same thing with Jayden Daniels, and there's a tremendous value. And I truly believe that outside of being in the playoffs, winning the Heisman is more important than winning any other bowl game that you can come up with. And so I think because of that, and look, you win the Heisman, even if you don't make it in the NFL, you're making a good living the rest of your life, as from the celebrity circuit, the autograph circuit, the endorsement circuit, just by being a Heisman winner. So they want to get that for Jayden. Jayden wants to get that for himself. The fact that they're not playing the first week of December tells me that I believe they're going to put the foot on the throat, and if they got a chance to go put up 60 and sort of embarrass Georgia State, they'll take that opportunity. So because of that, if you're the Nussmeier family, I feel bad for you, because we thought we'd be seeing a lot of Nuss maybe the whole second half, and this Georgia State game, it's not going to be the case.
Well, and the best two receivers in the country play for LSU, Thomas and Neighbors. So their numbers are going to rise, which will rise their draft stock come next spring as well. LSU is the only team in the country in the top 10 in rushing and passing offensively. So, when you're the only team out of 130-something FBS teams, when you're the only team doing something, that sparkles a little bit.
It's pretty incredible how Thomas and Neighbors sort of, I don't want to, are getting forgot about. It's sort of the afterthought. I feel like Jamar Chase and the receiving core in 19, people talked about Jamar Chase a lot. They don't talk about Neighbors and Thomas the way that they did in 2019, and it's sort of a shame because, like I said, their numbers are the same or better in all the categories.
Well, they've combined. Thomas and Neighbors have combined to catch 23 touchdown passes. No other team's got two dudes that combined caught 23 touchdown passes. So you're right. Their numbers are just as sporty as Daniels in the big picture. The offensive numbers, boom, it's there. Jayden Daniels, second leading rusher in the SEC. He's a quarterback. So, I almost think you got to give the guy the Heisman, okay? Because he's not going to stumble against Georgia State. He's not going to stumble against A&M. But, wow, you're right. They did give a little more love to Neighbors and Thomas. And, of course, the offensive line is nominated for an award for being the top offensive line unit. They give an award. They give so many awards, right? I can't keep up with them all. But, man, this LSU offense has really turned into something. And as has been pointed out, too bad the defense is not, just a little bit better. But you might be, 10-1 instead of 9-3, 8-3, or whatever it is, So we'll see. But it's been fun to watch. Pretty much as fun like 2019, where you just knew something good was going to happen when the ball was snapped. You kind of get the same feeling now.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to compare the numbers at the end of the season because and to say, hey, this season versus that season, because at the end of the day, they will have played 2 or 3 more games than LSU, because the next conversation becomes after the A&M game, provided that Jayden Daniels and the receiving core all put up good numbers the next 2 weeks and whatnot. If Jayden Daniels wins the Heisman, does he not? Does he sit out the bowl game? Does Neighbors sit out the bowl game because he doesn't want to mess up his first-round pick status? And all those things you never used to think about, all those things that never even on a conversation starter are now a reality. Like, oh, you're not playing in the playoffs. Maybe you're not going to play in any of these bowl games, and that's sad to think, but that's realistic.
Well, the other realistic part of that, let's just say LSU goes to whatever bowl game, and they're talking about the Reliant Bowl in Tampa against Notre Dame. How many storylines would there be there with Brian Kelly and Notre Dame? And that's like a mock draft. We still don't know that. However, what I'm getting to is, let's just say Daniels chooses not to play in whatever bowl game. That means Nussmeier gets some very valuable time and experience from the beginning of a game going forward. So that would be the silver lining there.
When would that Reliant Bowl game be? Do you know? If not, look it up, TK. I'm curious what the date is on that if LSU ends up over in Tampa.
That's the projections. I'm going to whip it up here.
Yeah. While Tommy's looking that up, but we will tell you that over at LeBear's Casino, it's no longer Barstool Sportsbook. It's now ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Some of the signage isn't all completely up and will be in the next week or two, but you can download the ESPN Bet app And right now they're going to give you up to $200 free, on that app. So definitely do that. Tommy did it yesterday. Downloaded the app, placed a few bets. So they will guarantee up to $200 on the ESPN bet app. I want to thank the LeBears Lake Charles Casino for being one of the sponsors, along with Relief Windows and Visit Lake Charles. The Relief Windows, Brandon Holly, title sponsor of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Golf Classic. We had the party on Monday night. We had the golf tournament yesterday, and believe it or not, we actually played golf yesterday. We got off no rain. We had a noon start, no rain, and then all of a sudden about 1:30, 2 o'clock, the rain came in. We had some teams decided 8 or 9 holes was enough, and others, including Casey McKenzie's Merritt Electrical team, battled through and played all 18 holes. I think there were only 4 of the 24 teams in our tournament played all 18 holes. The rest called it quits somewhere between 8 and 18 because of the weather. But we had a great time nonetheless. Lots of good food and drink. Raised money for Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Had a lot of great celebrities that were there. Everybody from Jenny Finch and softball to Todd Walker to Charles Alexander to Wendell Davis to Paul Maneri to Susan Jackson, and Kevin Gosman was in the house. Today's a big day for Kevin Gosman. He's going to find out if he's going to win the American League Cy Young Award. He led the league in strikeouts. He's one of 3 finalists, which is an unbelievable honor. Andrew Stevenson of the Minnesota Twins was at the party too Monday night. Kevin Falk was there yesterday. Michael the Beer Man Lewis, Casey Daigle, former big leaguer. Just on and on and on. It was an unbelievable group of celeb. Wayne Toop sang at our party Monday night. He played golf with us on Tuesday. So we appreciate all of them giving up their time. None of them were paid to do any of this. They all were volunteers that wanted to help support the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, or friends of mine. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to some big news in the spring regarding our next event. Golf tournament but mark your calendar. January 9th, our next Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame event will be at LeBears Casino. It is Champions of the Diamond. We will have a graphic for you and a release for you on Friday on Sports Shorts Daily. On Friday, we'll have a full screen graphic showing you and telling you all about it. That is going to be pretty cool.
By the way, Friday, we're going to go 3:30 p.m., a little afternoon edition of Sports Shorts Daily. I'll be here at Tremonti's where you got to get your turkey orders in, but a little afternoon edition on Friday, 3:30. And, of course, you can watch it later that night or the next morning, whatever you want to do. So just pointing that out.
LSU baseball, Tommy, they're going to have their Purple and Gold World Series, only a 2-game series. It'll be Friday and Sunday, Friday at 4:30 p.m. and Sunday at 11. I went to the scrimmage on Sunday noon when they played the Raging Cajuns, and they really whooped up on the Cajuns, down the line pitching. Once they got past their first 4 or 5 arms, LSU kind of had a field day a little bit with the Cajuns, but their first 3-4 arms were pretty good, held LSU in check to like the 9th inning or 10th inning in their first game. But the Tigers, they have a wealth of riches that I've never seen. They don't have Paul Skeens per se, in the sense that a guy that's going to go out there and just win 95% of the time and can go get you a game all by himself for 9 innings. But they've got Skeens Paul. They've got his cousin. They're top 8, 9 arms, Tommy. I mean, we're gonna mark this tape. I really believe their top 6 arms are all going to pitch in the major leagues. So their top 6, 1 through 6, are all major leaguers. And
then I would suspect they're back in Omaha.
you got to swing it too. You can't just pitch it. You got to be able to score runs. And obviously, we're not seeing Tommy White in their lineup right now. He's coming off of an injured shoulder. He's going to be fine 100% for the season. But they'll just be out of caution. They're holding him out this fall, and he will make that lineup. I mean, once he's in the lineup, then obviously it changes things. But that said, Tom, they could absorb the losses. Remember last year when Shores went down and they had like 3 arms go down, and then guys had some bad seasons. You had 2 or 3 guys that you were really counting on to be studs, and they weren't studs. And so you were down 5 or 6 arms that you were kind of going into the season thinking these cats are all going to be, legit. And That's not this year they can absorb 2 or 3 arm injuries. They're that deep.
Wow. Man, well, it's going to be fun to watch. I don't think I'll be able to get out there this weekend, but I'm looking forward to baseball. And, we defer to Jay Johnson and his staff, kind of a new staff, if you will. But LSU's going to they'll be in the thick of it.
Sunday at 11, Tommy, you can't make that? No Saints?
It's a moving weekend for me, Ron. I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to be honest. Probably not. Okay? I'm not going to try to mislead you or anyone else, okay?
All right. A couple of things here. Let's see.
This is kind of a day old or whatever, but Saints coach Dennis Allen said no coaching staff changes in the open date week. I'm sure he got that question Monday from the media, which they should have asked him that. That's an appropriate question. But he said he's not making any changes in the open date, which typically, Buffalo fired their coordinator after a dismal performance Monday night. Ken Dorsey used to be a quarterback. He got whacked. I mean, the coaching carousel is already spinning, and we're not to Thanksgiving yet. A couple other coaches, Chip Kelly, they say he's coaching for his game in the UCLA USC game. He's coaching for his job. That if they lose, they're going to fire him there. I mean, Jimbo Fisher, John, I read this morning. For the next 9 years, $1 a day.
How much a day?
26,000 a day for the next 9 years. So every morning he wakes up and there's $26,000 coming in. Every morning. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Wow. I don't think he's real upset, do you?
I saw that graphic that was out that his $76.5 million buyout is more than Jameis Winston has made in his entire career so far. Think about it. The guy's getting $76.5 million to not do anything, and he's made more money than that. And the whole reason Jimbo Fisher's got any money is because of Jameis Winston, right? Wins them a Heisman, wins a national championship, and that put Jimbo Fisher on the map as being the greatest coach ever. Unbelievable.
Well, Jimbo needs to get a gift card from Tremonti's where Jameis can come get some crab legs and not have to run out the door with him, right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Your mom says $26,000 a day. That's almost enough. That's funny. Thank you, Miss Janet.
Yeah, I mean, goodness gracious, I'm just rattled by that. That's incredible. And look,
a lot of people are rattled, right?
I don't blame Jimbo Fisher at all. What is A&M thinking? What the hell were they thinking, putting that contract in place? And I'm just shocked that they believe that paying a guy $76.5 million to go away is the best thing for that program. Like, in the sense that just in 2021, Tommy, 21, that's 2.5 years ago, they gave him a, extension, 10 years, $100 million, all that. If you felt he was the greatest coach in college just 2 years ago, what changed? What has really changed? I mean, dig in and figure out has he forgotten how to coach? Is there not a, hey, let's go get the best offensive coordinator in the country and the best defense coordinator in the country so that we don't have to pay you $76.5 million to stay at home? I mean, it's just incredible that the tide has turned on him this quickly and that you believed 2.5 years ago he was the best coach in college football, and now you don't. You've got to get rid of him as if he's a cancer. It's incredible.
Well, if you remember last year, there were rumblings about him getting fired, and then all of a sudden they bring Petrino in, just what you said. Let somebody else call the plays and see if that works. But here's the thing, Ron, that somebody pointed out, and I've read a lot about this. Texas A&M is not a blue blood in college football by any stretch. They haven't won a national championship since 1939. Who cares? But, they're not up. They think they're up there with the elite teams, the Michigans, the LSUs, the Oklahomas, the Ohio States, the Notre Dame, Southern Cal. The image. They think their image is up there like that. That's not true. I mean, it's just not there. They've been in SEC a long time. One SEC West title way back in the day. I mean, they're not as good as they're getting this Notre Dame-itis. They think they're really good up here, but they really should be down here. And, they're just throwing money around to try to I don't want to say buy a national title, but they're pulling out all the stops trying to get that reputation or to get to that elite level, which they're not at now. That's just a fact. They're not an elite football program, not even close. We can name 20 teams with more, glitter and sparkle today than Texas A&M, maybe even 30.
Yeah, and clearly the sparkle is gone on the LSU A&M rivalry, because 11 a.m. kickoff is like, what? And the SEC, when they know LSU and Tiger Stadium and Saturday night is the thing, 11 a.m. Look, I thought the crowd was bad with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter against Florida. Ain't going to be good against A&M, buddy. I hope LSU fans show up for Jayden Daniels and this football team. If they take care of business against Georgia State, and Jayden's got a chance to go out there, and if he throws for 300-400 yards and has a big game, he gets to solidify his Heisman. And it's the last time you get to see him in Tiger Stadium, or Neighbors and Thomas. They deserve all that farewell tour. I hope LSU fans take that into consideration as opposed to deciding to stay home on that last Saturday.
I agree with you completely.
All right, TK, we're going to get out of here. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Tell us about them, and we'll be back on Friday from there.
Yeah, Friday at 3:30, a little afternoon edition. They got fried, smoked rotisserie turkeys, several catering orders going out the door today. They can feed your office, feed your family, your friends in the neighborhood want to come on over. Call and place your order or stop by. They got all the side dishes you need, but the 3 different types of turkey. They have some ham here if you like to do the ham thing. Stop in at Tremonti's. You'll be glad you did. They got all that good stuff. They got gift cards available if all of a sudden you want to just have a couple of them in your pocket in case somebody comes over and you need to give them a gift. Through any denomination, they got some brand new, nice-looking gift cards here at Tremonti's.
All right, for Tommy Christ, I'm Ronnie Rance. Please like and share this video. We'll be back each and every on Friday at 3:30, presented by LeBear's Casino. Have a good one, everyone.